All right, we're live. We're back again.
All right, what's up, everybody? I know it's the best part of your month. You get to see our faces, hear our voices. If you even made it to this video, I sure hope you have, and you've even made it this far in this video. So, welcome back. To the TK guys. I got Steve Klotzel, Josh Haney. I'm Nate Kaufman, and if you see my dog back there, that's Nelly. She came to work with me today. So, today we got another just. I mean, I know you've all been dying to hear what neck finishes are in packaging. If you've even ever heard of them, if you've ever heard of 38 400s or 38 430s, I know, like Klotzel, he lives in Ohio, and all they do is just go get lottery tickets. So you guys are probably thinking those are just your mega ball lottery numbers. So, but yeah, that's what we're going to be talking about today. So, Josh, let's dive right in. What is a neck finish?
Okay. I don't know. That was a pretty solid intro.
First of all,
and all of our views.
Have we gone viral yet at any point? Does anyone know?
Well, we have had some views, but I think it is. I think it's people have been using this to fall asleep too.
It's mainly. I think it's mainly my mom.
And one of them is my son. I think he's a follower on here too. So
he's a big follower. All right, sorry. I just want to clarify.
No, I think we are getting some views. I think we're not quite ready for Apple iTunes yet, but I think we're
getting there.
We're doing a good job. Keep on trucking.
I think I'm pretty sure at PDN next year they're going to have us do a live recording.
Yes.
Of this podcast.
Oh, we should. Yes. And if you could just smash that like and subscribe button, that would be awesome.
Subscribe. Our 10th subscriber is going to wait. Hold on. Our 10th subscriber, you're going to get a free Yeti.
Yeah.
Yep. There you go.
Hang on. We're at 4. We're going for 10.
You heard it here first, folks. I love it. What are we talking about? Neck finishes? All right.
Yeah.
So in the trilogy of caps, liners, and caps, we talked about liners first, then we talked about caps. Not sure why we went in that order because that was a Klotzel thing, but whatever. Now we're going to talk about the neck finish. So the neck finish is on the bottle, right? But that is extremely important when you're talking about the overall package of the cap and bottle mating together. So when you hear the term finish, neck finish, generally it refers to two components. You're going to talk about the size, which would be the diameter of the neck of the bottle, and the finish, which is for more or less it's the height of the threads on the bottle itself. So if you take a bottle, which I probably should have had one here in front of me, and for whatever reason I don't, you take a bottle, if you were to cut it off at the top, right? So you separated the threads from the bottle, that would be the part of the bottle that we're talking about. The neck finish. The neck and the finish on it.
So
do we have a guest? Do we have a guest speaker?
Join us.
Big Steve
right.
came in.
So it's I guess and this is something that I think is widely varies, but is it always the second number? So it's like 28 400, and the 400 part is the neck finish, correct?
Yeah, correct. So that would be the two components. So you have the first part is the diameter. I mean, we sell, I think the smallest cap we have is like a 15 millimeter cap. That's for like the small, like sample size hot sauce things. And then the biggest cap that I've ever sold would be 135 millimeters, which there's some giant whey protein powder canisters out there that have those on them. Also, you get into some of the agricultural uses for IBCs, things like that. They'll have the big 135 or bigger even yet caps on them as well.
Okay, I gotcha.
So that's the second part. Yep. The first part is the diameter. There's a hyphen. Then the second part, 400, 430, whatever, is the finish.
So will 38 400 cap, is it going to fit every 38 millimeter bottle?
No. So that's where, and this is where, communication is key on, we've said that, I think, in every podcast. finding the right components to make together to make the best package and to get the package that you need in terms of a cap and a bottle. But what you have there are some common thread profiles out there. So the most popular one is a 400. Then you're going to hear terms like 410, 430, 485, 445. Those are all different thread profiles, and sometimes a 400 cap will fit on a 410, but a 410 will not fit on a 400. And we do in some cases sell caps for bottles that don't exactly have the perfectly exact matching thread profile, but they do work. And we help customers through that. Usually that's somebody's in a pinch or they need something, they bought the wrong bottles, but they need to cap them anyway. We can work through all that, but we can, I think, probably hear the next part of this, I keep wanting to call this a podcast. It's a podcast. I know it's not on iTunes. The next part of this podcast, we are going to probably be talking about those and what they mean. Yeah. So if you want to ask that question, I'll explain.
And eventually I think we're trying to figure out schedules with Joe Rogan, but we'll get on there at some point.
Right.
Yeah, he's heard about the TK boys.
I have Jamie looking some stuff up for me right now on thread.
I got a couple packages I've gotten, and I'm pretty sure it's those YouTube subscriber
plates.
Yeah.
Million.
I'll have them on the wall.
Once you hit 3, you get a diamond one. We blew past 3 subscribers. But that's Josh, that was one thing you touched on it there, but maybe you could go over that. Is what would you say? Just rattle off like some of the most common neck sizes that you hear.
Yeah. All right. So like I said, you got I did make some notes. So a lot of what you'll hear is a 400 and then a 410, 415, 425, 430, 445, 485. And a lot of these I'll add do stem back from the GPI, Glass Packaging Institute standards that were created way back when. That was a way that, somebody buying a glass bottle in California from a molder in Utah could find a cap in Pennsylvania and know that they're all going to fit together. So that was something that was done that way when, Company A was making bottles and Company B was making bottles. They could make sure they both made their 400 or their 430 or 410. And glass is a whole different thing. We'll get to that some other day. But they could standardize those neck finishes and the thread profiles from different plants and things like that. So they could use the same cap from one manufacturer. So those are the different sizes. And then those are all based on that GPI. And that's some cool stuff if you're a packaging geek and you can kind of go back and look at that. And the origins and some of that is pretty interesting.
Yeah, Justin, I know you kind of hit it on already, and I feel like lack of communication may be, or even just assuming may be one of the biggest mistakes. But what do you think when it comes to especially neck finishes is like the biggest mistake people make?
So the biggest mistake people make is just not paying attention to what they're ordering. And that again, it's not a bad thing. It's something to be cautious of, because like you guys asked at the beginning of this, like, what do you mean this 38 millimeter cap doesn't fit this 38 millimeter bottle? Well, it doesn't. So, a 38 400, and I'll just cover a couple of these. So you can get into really great detail if you Google it and you want to look at the specs and the actual heights of all these and different and the thread shapes and things like that. But just for the general person out there trying to mate a bottle and a cap together. So a 400 is going to be one thread turn typically. So you have one full thread around the neck finish that's 38 millimeters across in diameter. A 410 is usually about 1.5 turns. And then 415 is very similar to a 410. It usually has a shorter neck height on it. So a lot of these stem from different applications as well. And you'll find like a 430 is usually like a taller neck on a bottle that would be like a trying to think of like some of the applications, but it would take like a jigger cap where maybe you're using that cap to measure something. So it's usually things like that where it's lab bottles, fast open type closures. Some industries want, in the agricultural world and in the petroleum lubrication world, we want to make sure the cap and the bottle are screwed together tightly. They're not going to leak, things like that.
Sure.
In other parts of the industry, in the packaging industry, you have pharmaceuticals. So you're not going to want to have to take your ibuprofen bottle and turn the cap 4 complete turns to get it off of there. Like, it's just not the same concern for what's packaged inside. Obviously, there's child resistance there and all that, which we discussed a little bit previously, but that's something to consider. Cosmetics, generally, they like a nice solid half a turn. Open it up. You're using, some type of a dry product or in there or whatever it is too. So a lot of that relates to the application within the industry and what the customer experience is like.
Josh, sidebar.
Yes.
Yeah. Ibuprofen bottle and ibuprofen cap. You know how you have to line it up, like the arrow to the arrow?
Right.
Would that also be considered a CRC?
Yeah, and in some cases, there's a lot of the one thing, and I know in my notes I had written down SP. You will see in some bottle drawings, typically, it will say 38 special or 38 400. It might say 400 special because they don't know exactly what it is in terms of, it's not a precise measurement, right? So special just means somebody somewhere made their own thread profile for whatever reason. And so, if I'm a giant company and I design this cool bottle and I want to have 2 full turns of a thread and I want it to be this high, and I'm also spending a bunch of money to build a custom cap, I can make sure that cap and that bottle work together. I don't care if it's a 400, 410. It's just, It is what it is. It's what I designed. And so a lot of times you'll see SP or special in there. And that just means basically it's not an industry standard.
Okay.
We see that on the bottles a lot because what happens is people manufacture a bottle. Some company was making it for a specific product. That eventually that product's in the market for years and years. Eventually they change bottles, and then sometimes the bottle manufacturer will buy that mold, make it commercially available to everybody else. There is if you're in the packaging industry and you're watching this and you're still awake, there is a 5-quart bottle out there that is commercially available to everyone, used a lot in the automotive industry, that will only take a specific 48 millimeter cap. And that is a great example. And we go through this all the time. People email us. 6-8 times a year, somebody sends me that bottle drawing and says, I cannot find the cap for this. Can you help me? And we know, because we've been doing this for almost 11 years now here at TK. And, we know what it is, but we run into that sort of thing a lot. And it's nice when but sometimes when you can't find that cap, it can be a wild goose chase. Now, that's the cool thing with TK. We've got 300 years of combined experience across the board. We've got a pretty good network of industry knowledge and just that tribal knowledge of knowing, hey, you need to call this guy because that used to be the Sunbeam closure and they got sold to so-and-so, and now they moved the mold to Quebec, and you got to call there and talk to, Artie, who's in charge of manufacturing, and he'll hook you up. So,
right. No, that's helpful. It feels like a confusing topic. That's obviously why we're talking about it. In closing, Josh, you touched on a little bit there, but hammer it home. If someone's confused about this, what do you do?
Yeah. So if you are not certain, even if you just need a second opinion to verify what you're trying to do is accurate, give us a call, email, text, whatever, ask TK, the whole spiel there. We are happy to help. Our priority is to make sure you have what you need and that it's going to work the way you expect it to, because there is no worse time to find out that you have the wrong cap and bottle than 3 months into a 4-month shelf life test, and you need to start filling product in 2 months, and you're going to be up a creek with no paddle because you thought you knew something and you didn't. So we love to solve those problems. We love to help people. And like I said, a lot of times, man, we can find stuff real quick. And when we do that, whether it's an existing customer already or somebody we've had a relationship with but isn't technically a customer yet, or if you Googled us and you found us, or somebody told you to call us, but we will help. And if it's something, I've said this in the previous 2 episodes as well, if it's something we do not have but I know where to get it, I'm going to tell you, hey, you need to call this guy at this company and they'll hook you up. So that's my position on a lot of this stuff.
I think I just heard somebody, the last person listening, turn on their CPAP machine so they can just rest easy right now.
Exactly. Right.
Well,
what else can we talk about that's super exciting?
Anything? Let's see. We can maybe leave a prize in here to see if anyone's still listening at this point. If you're still listening, we'll give you a $200 gift card.
Right.
Well, in closing, did you guys have any other comments or anything about neck finishes?
I will add this. I just kind of thought of this too. So caps tend to be an afterthought. It's usually, hey, I found the bottle. I love this bottle. This guy has this bottle and I can get it from them. And then this is what I'm going to, I've designed my marketing strategy around this. And now with ChatGPT, you can do your branding in 30 seconds and get the whole thing put together that way using pictures and stuff like that. So just try not to make the caps an afterthought. Try to make sure before you choose a bottle that there is a cap available that fits the bottle, fits it properly, is correct for the application that you need. And the other part of this too, which doesn't tie into neck finishes, but if you have a product or a project that you're going to buy 50,000 bottles, make sure the minimum requirement on that cap isn't 750,000 caps, because that's a big deal breaker for a lot of people as well. That's where we come in. We usually have no problem buying that many caps. We may have them on the floor. You might need 15,000 of our 5 million caps, and then that's what TK is easy to do. Sorry, I got distracted by the dog fight.
Yeah. We're just having a dog war back here.
Yeah.
Well,
now we can have Max make a.
There we go. A guest appearance. Perfect. That's what the crowd wants.
The crowd's been asking for him.
All right. Well, I guess in closing, you mentioned it there, Josh, and I think it is a good point to make, is that we do live obviously in an AI world where it feels like, I can get these answers really quick. But I will tell you, as a guy that uses a lot of AI and talking about packaging, it is not always right. I'd say about 50% of the time.
Correct. Right. Exactly. Yeah.
And what's great about TK is, and we say this, I'm going to say it in every episode, you can talk to a live person in 5 minutes, maybe even less. So give it a try. Reach out to us, even if you're just a huge fan of the show and you just want to talk and maybe get a feature. We'll see.
What's what is the if you ever listen to the Smartless podcast, what is his sister in Wisconsin? If you're Julia in Wisconsin and you have some questions, give us a call back.
I don't know what that is. So if you're listening, Theo Vaughn or Joe Rogan, you want involved, let us know. But numbers, we'll have the information in this video. You can go to our website, tksupplies.com, and we'll be happy to answer any questions that you have.
Our intelligence is not artificial. It is completely fake.
All natural.
That's a fact. I actually tested our chatbot response time and it was within about 30 seconds. Now,
Wow.
Max wasn't happy. He thought he got to leave, but I was like, all right, let's see how long this actually takes. And he responded in like 30 seconds.
Yeah, nice.
Our little bot on the website goes right to a live person, but you can get to Josh or me or Nate through any of this stuff. So thanks everybody for watching and for listening, and we'll be back with another exciting episode next week.
The Black and Yellow Podcast.
That's right. Thanks everybody.